Talk about shock treatment.
Erin Wright and her best friend Marty love horror movies, especially Shocker on Shock Street movies. All kinds of scary creatures live on Shock Street. The Toadinator, Apeface, the Mad Mangler. But when Erin and Marty visit the new Shocker Studio theme park, they get the scare of their lives. First, their tram gets stuck in the cave of the living creeps. Then, they're attacked by a group of enormous praying mantises. Real life is a whole lot scarier than the movies. But Shock Street isn't really real, is it?
Welcome back to Goosebumps Overviews, the show where we talk about Goosebump books and judge them on their merit. Tonight's episode is book number 35, A Shocker on Shock Street. Shocking! This is probably one of the best covers out of the entire series, hands down, at least to me. First of all, it is just, I think when it comes to Goosebump book covers, it's iconic, really. When you think of Goosebump book covers, you think of Stay Out of the Basement, Haunted Mask, Welcome to Dead House, but I think this one is probably right up there. Okay, the things I like, first of all, the creature design, it's just a praying mantis, but come on, that brings you into this. It makes you think it's going to be like a creature feature sort of thing. And this book isn't a creature feature like some other books kind of have been, but this has to be an homage to it, at least at some point, because this book is about movies, and the movies that are discussed in this are kind of creature features, but we'll get into that. But one thing I do like, I love the colors in this, how the orange and yellow really makes this gray mantis pop, and as I've discussed before, I love it when Goosebump books show a bigger picture of the world, and this is Shock Street. We know what Shock Street looks like. We don't have to guess from the images and words on the page, and I love it. I am a bit iffy on one small thing, and that is mainly just the Shock Street sign. It looks like it's written in blood. A bit too goofy, slightly. But other than that, yeah, I would say it's a pretty good cover. Erin Wright and Marty are best friends that suspiciously look like they're twins, but they're not, I guess. They're huge Shock Street movie fans, which I guess in this universe, it's kind of, the Shock Street movies are like our Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. Erin's dad happens to be one of the higher-ups in the Shock Street movie franchise, one of the bigwigs involved with monster production, special effects. And let me just tell you, the special effects in these movies are so good, they could be mistaken for real. So one day after seeing a sneak peek of one of the newest Shock Street movies, Shock Street 6, Erin's dad invites them to test out the new Shock Street studio theme park, which of course Erin and Marty could not be any more psyched for, as, hey, come on, it's Shock Street. They get to go on the actual street where the movies are filmed. What could be more exciting than that? Erin mentions when they first go, oh, can Mom come? In which the dad has this strange reaction in which he says, no, I think you guys should go on your, you guys should go by yourselves. That'd make the feeling of this park so much more authentic. And the rest of the book is them going on this ride and getting a little bit more than they bargained for. I don't want to go over most of the things that happens, because a lot of things happen in this book. It's like one big adventure as soon as they get on this ride. I will discuss, though, they do get these plastic toy guns, which they're told will disable any robots. You can basically forget that plot point, because it doesn't work. It just, they forget about it till the end, then they use it, and it doesn't, it's kind of pointless. They go through all these, they go through all the monsters, and they're having trouble deciding what's real and what's not, which really brings out the scares in this. But they come across a lot of interesting shit, and R.L. Stine really brings out some a mishmash of things that already exist, and kind of bringing out his creativity. We got the Wolf Boy, Wolf Girl, the Mad Mangler, and the Toadinator. I think I want to see some of these movies. They sound really, really cheesy, but still probably better than a lot of the horror movies that come out today. I mean, seriously, we got some really dumb shit coming out. I really like the ending with this. It's a twist ending, a dark ending, and it's really, really good. I mean, for twist endings to work, you gotta have like some hints in the beginning and the middle and stuff. And that happens. It makes the ending so much better. My only gripe with it is that the ending only takes like the last 2 pages. All of this is revealed in such a short time. And you know what? I'd have to say it's not really rushed. It's not rushed. It's not rushed! Wow. But then, right as they're cornered, it's all revealed that they're in a movie. This is all a movie, and their dad didn't tell them. And they're like, "Oh, okay, everything's fine now." And then, like, they come across the director, and the director's all like, "Oh yeah, your dad didn't tell you you're in a movie? Well, that's fucked up. Your dad's right over there. Just go through that house." And I guess that, like, the house they go through is supposed to, like, in the movies, it's supposed to shock you when you go in there. And, it's just a movie. It's not going to shock us. But then right as they're walking away, they realize that the director is a robot, and he's got a plug hooked directly into his back, which freaks Erin out. Erin runs after her friend Marty, trying to get him to not walk through that door. He does, and he gets shocked, and I guess he dies? Not really. Erin comes across her father, starts begging her father to help Marty, but then she realizes that her father isn't really her father. She starts screaming, "Who are you? Who are you?" before it just fades to black. It just fades to murmurs. The chapter ends with her screaming, just fading into nonsense. It's revealed that Marty and Erin are both robots created to test the ride and to be in this movie, I guess. And the book ends with just some technician carrying these husks away to be repaired, reprogrammed, and go through the exact same story we read again. Yeah, that's a pretty good twist ending, and you know why? Because it gets brought up, like, there's a hint of it at the beginning where Erin mentions the mother, and the dad's like, "What?" Because the dad never programmed a mother, so it was like a glitch with Erin and like a memory bug or something. So yeah, I really like this book. I really like good twist endings like that, and that just brings it home for me. And my minor gripe being, why the hell would you make these realistic robots just to test your ride? Wouldn't it be cheaper to get kids to do that? I guess their idea was, if they used real kids, word would get out about the park. But they can at least sign a non-disclosure agreement or something. I guess another thing, maybe they're trying to test to see if the park was safe. But if there's questions about safety, a robot's gonna feel things differently than a human would. Unless these robots are, like, equipped like crash test dummies or something. So yeah, basically the story's told from the point of view of crash test dummies. And it is kind of sad in the ending, and I really like that. And before we get to the ratings, bonus review time! Ooh. I actually happen to have the graphic novel for A Shocker on Shock Street. They made 3 of these, 3 graphic novel compilations. This one happens to have One Day at Horrorland, Deep Trouble, and Shock Street. I kind of wish I went over the other 2 books with this comic, just to do like a compare-contrast thing. But I forgot I had this until now, so hey, just doing Shock Street for this time. I don't have the other comics. I haven't even tried to look to see if they're worth anything. You never know with these things. The artwork was done by Jamie Togelson, who does the work for a comic book called The Crow. Never really read that per se. And what I also read up about her was that she did work for the Hellraiser and Silver Surfer comics, and I guess some parts of Superman. She does like interior work. I'm not much of a comic ratings guy, so I'm not gonna judge the artwork too heavily on this. But yeah. So really where this comic shines, like in the art department, at least to me, is the set design. There were a few key areas in this comic that I feel like they wouldn't look this certain way, but there's some other areas that were just like, well, that's spot on. And the creature design is pretty good too. But the humans in this story, only Aaron and Marty were supposed to be robots. They all look like robots, and I don't know if that's intentional, but just a lot of the character design looks weird. Also, Marty's named Josh in this for some reason. I don't know why they changed his name. They kept Aaron's name. And also the dad's not blonde and balding anymore like he was in the book. And they left out the laser gun part, but otherwise the book is pretty much, it follows the exact same story. And there's just like some minor details changed, some minor aspects of appearance changed. But otherwise it's still pretty solid, I'd say that much. So, my rating of this book, I'm gonna have to give this an 8 out of 10. Love the ending, love the build-up. It drags slightly in the middle, but all in all, it's one great big adventure, and I love it all the way through. And like I said before, dark ending, twist ending, sad ending, that's like a triple combo there. A triple combo. You bring something like that to the table, I'm on board. So anyway, guys, that is my review of A Shocker on Shock Street. I hope you've been shocked, and yeah, I'm not continuing this pun. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you tomorrow for tomorrow's episode, The Haunted Mask 2.